This is the World of Sports Network. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the G to the U to the R to the U. Welcome to another World of Sports Network presentation. And today we're going to discuss the 2020 offseason needs for your Seattle Seahawks. So let's just start it from the top. In 2019, the Seahawks finished with an 11-5 record, which was second in the NFC West, which was the hardest division in football. They lost, obviously, to the eventual NFC representative, the San Francisco 49ers in the division. The 49ers ended up being the first seed, and the Seahawks with an 11-5 record ended up being the fifth seed and losing to the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round. They end up beating the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card division and on the road, and end up losing to the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers and company in a hard-fought game in Lambeau Field, 28-23. So now, moving to the offseason. Some key losses from the Seattle Seahawks this season. It wasn't major losses. They didn't lose any significant guy, like you said, elite player in a sense, but they lost a lot of depth, and most importantly, they lost locker room guys and guys that's been in the organization, and like what Pete Carroll liked to say, guys that's been in the program for numerous years. They lost starting right tackle Germain Ifedi. Now, obviously, a lot of the fan base here in Seattle, when they say we lost Germain Ifedi, that could be a good thing. But no, man, Germain Ifedi was a staple. As much as we like to talk about it, but Germain played 16 games, 60 games played, 60 games started. He was there every week, even though we didn't like it sometimes. But one thing was consistent. He was consistently there for us to be mad at him every freaking week. So yeah, I think Germain Ifedi is going to be a loss for us. So I agree with most of the fan base. I don't think it's going to be a significant loss per se. Also, speaking of the offensive line, George Fant, another one of his road dogs. George Fant, he's another guy that's been on the program for a few years now. That's lost in the free agent market. So George Fant ended up signing with the Jets, and Fant is a very interesting guy, because when he first came in, he was a former basketball guy that played at Western Kentucky, that switched and got bigger, moved into the offensive line. So very super athletic. Injuries slowed his progression earlier in the career, but he ended up playing a lot of stuff in the offensive line. Ended up playing tight end. So he's a very super athletic. I think the Jets could have a little sneaky pick over there. Another key loss is the Seahawks lost. Another locker room guy was Quenton Jefferson, man. I think QJ, he had a very undervalued season this year, man. With Germain being suspended for basically half the season, man, QJ stepped up, had a significant impact for the defensive line. So I think we're gonna also miss him, and he ended up signing a deal over there in Buffalo. So I think those are the key losses. And right now, I'm also going to add Jadeveon Clowney. Even though when I'm recording this, we're not specifically sure what his end result is and his decision is, but I'm going to add in here as far as a key loss, because right now he's not under contract, so he's a key loss as far as the defensive line goes. For the Seahawks, the major losses they lost in the offseason. So now I want to move on to the key addition. It's always addition by subtraction, right? So we have the key losses. Now I want to talk about the key addition, man. One of the first ones they did early in the season was Greg Olsen. I love this part about Greg Olsen, man. Last year, Greg Olsen ended up with 52 receptions for 597 yards, about 11.5 yards a pop, and 2 TD. What I love about the 11.5 yards a pop is 10 yards to make a first down. And this guy averaged 11.5 yards. So that's what he's exactly going to be in the Seahawks offense. He's going to be more of a move the chain guy. We're not asking Greg Olsen to be a big contributor as far as that. It's just for him to be a spot contributor. Most importantly, on those 3rd and 3 situation, 3rd and 2 situation, when instead of just, we know we want to run the ball, but you could have a veteran leadership guy like Greg Olsen who knows how to get open in zone situations. So I love that aspect of bringing out veteran, and he's a great captain. He's a great leader. Another locker room guy, another positive guy that infuse leadership in the locker room, man. You could never have enough great leadership in the locker room, man. Especially a locker room that's this tight and this close-knit as Seattle's locker room. So continue the key offseason addition Philip Dorsett. This is a sneaky value pick. I believe it's very simple. Philip Dorsett got speed. He's a burner. He runs very good deep routes, and Russell Wilson is the best deep ball thrower in all of football. So this is an easy marriage. It's just simple, man. It looks good, it feels good, it smells good, and it will taste good. So I see Philip Dorsett taking the top off the defense per se. So he's going to be the speed guy. So you're going to see a lot of long ball to Philip Dorsett this coming season over in CenturyLink. Another offseason I love, man, Quenton Dunbar. There's a lot of things. Guys in DC, being a wrestling guy, two guys in DC have, up and down mindset about Quenton Dunbar, man. The only thing I can say is this guy produced. In fact, Pro Football, PFF, the guru don't talk about analytics like that, but PFF actually ranked Quenton Dunbar last year second in coverage in the whole entire NFL, second in coverage behind Richard Sherman. So that shows Quenton Dunbar, obviously, it's an upgrade from Trey Flowers. And Dunbar ended up finishing, only played 11 games last season with the Redskins and finished with 4 interceptions. So that's impressive. And he just fits the mold of a Pete Carroll type of cornerback. Obviously, Dunbar was a receiver, converted receiver to DB. He was an undrafted free agent. So where does this sound familiar? Undrafted free agent, I played receiver, but he couldn't make the team at receiver, so they moved into corner because of his ultra athletic ability and ball skills. Where does that sound? What does that story sound familiar? So I anticipate Quenton Dunbar, who is unhappy with the situation in DC, for him to come over here. And Pete knows DBs. One thing I can say is in Pete we trust, man. Pete knows DBs, and like I mentioned, that's definitely going to be a significant upgrade from Trey Flowers because he struggled mindfully to finish out the season last year. So, and this one will bring us through a couple of key guys also in the key addition we had in the offseason. Brandon Shell from the Jets, the right tackle. He's supposed to be coming in here to at least compete to replace Ifedi at the right tackle for us. And also BJ Finney, the swing guard / center coming from Pittsburgh. So he's also going to be a guy that should pencil in at least for the guard position, highly compete for the guard position. And if they end up getting rid of Justin Britt, he's another guy that also plays center. So he's able to be a great value pick as far as that goes. So those are the key offseason addition. I think that's going to make some impact moving on in the team. So now with that said, I want to move to the positional need. Obviously, there's a big need for the Seahawks this year, and that need is the defensive end. They were dead last. No, when I mean almost dead last, only the Miami Dolphins had less sacks per se than the Seahawks did this past season. The Seahawks had 28 total sacks, bro. I mean, that is a significant upgrade that's needed. You can't see yourself taking to the next level without having constant pressure. And Pete and those guys here don't play, man. They like to get after the quarterback. And last year, they were lacking in that attribute. So, key free agent target, I think the Seahawks are going to be going after in this offseason to upgrade the pass rush. Everson Griffin is one guy that comes to mind. I think the history with him and Pete, obviously from the USC days, and Pete recruited him all the way from high school, and he knows his cover 3 defense. He knows the defense ins and out, so it'll be a seamless transition per se. He's an older vet, also another locker room infuser guy. So, and Everson Griffin ended up having 8 sacks last year in a up and down season per se. That's probably one of his lowest percentage season, but he still produced in a high level. So I think Everson Griffin is a definitely great plan B per se, plan B minus for the Seahawks. Obviously, plan A is to re-sign Clowney. Clowney is one of the guys that he's not a sack guy. So you don't anticipate Clowney he's going to get double-digit sack. But what he brings, he's a distributor. He's a disruptor. He just disrupts the whole entire offense before the play even starts. So I think that's definitely need number. That's the need you have to get done. But unfortunately, from what I'm hearing and from what I get, I don't think Clowney's going to re-sign with the Seahawks. I know he just lowered his asking price to between 17 to 18 mil. But from the last time I saw, the Hawks offered him between 13 to 15 mil. So it's still a little bit off of what he wants. And like I said, it's been a couple weeks now going into the free agency market, and he still hasn't re-signed. So that's just showing me the longer this process goes, it's showing me he don't want to be here. Because if anything, if you want to be here, he would have already signed. So I think he's waiting for someone to just give him that deal he wants, and he's going to take himself and get that bag, which I have no problem with that, man. Go get that bag, Clowney, man, because you deserve it this season. So that's the as far as the free agent target. I think the Seahawks are targeting as far as upgrading the defensive end. And additionally, this year just came down the line. They did add, they just added a dude from the Raiders, man. What's his name? The defensive end from the Raiders. Can't really see his name right now, but they just added him, Benson Mayowa from the Raiders, defensive end. Had himself 7 sacks last year, so I think that's a good upgrade. That's a rotational guy. Also adding Bruce Irvin as well. I forgot to mention Bruce Irvin. So they have us little rotational guys to offset. And this all show me Clowney is gone because they're having all these pieces together. It seems like to make up for the departure for Clowney. You have the Bruce Irvin. You got the Benson Mayowas. And I definitely figured they're gonna get Everson Griffin. It's just, I think it's a marriage made in heaven. Everson mentioned he wants to be here. Pete mentioned the interest. It's a mutual interest. So I see that as far as the free agent target. Now, as far as upgrading the need with the NFL draft, with the 27th pick the Seahawks have this year in the draft. Obviously, DN. If you don't get Clowney, you're gonna get it. You have to draft a DN in the first round. So there's 2 guys that specifically that top the chart for me that fits perfectly into this scheme. One of those guys is AJ Espenza from the edge rusher from Iowa. What I love about AJ is the versatility. Funny, I think AJ is actually better inside and outside. He got that Michael Bennett aspect of him. He could line up inside, outside, and he's very good as far as stunts and power rush. He could also set the edge and stop the run. So I think AJ Espenza will be a great upgrade as far as the edge rusher in the draft if he's available. Also, right below him, the guy from Penn State, Yotor Gross Mateos. I also think he fits perfectly with the Seahawks as far as, running that 4-3, setting the edge. This guy's is strong against the run. He's above average as far as getting to the pass to the quarterback, but I think he's on the line trade. He's stopping the run. So I think those 2 guys are definitely guys and names to really keep an eye on as far as the NFL draft and how to upgrade that position need as far as the DN, which is clearly the weakest need in the Seahawks draft. So once again, man, I do believe in Schneider. I think Schneider and Pete combined, they will get it done. Overall, I think it's going to be, I don't see Clowney end up being in Seattle. I see Everson Griffin, and I see a couple of guys that's drafted, and I also see a few guys draft as far as identify the running back position. I see that taken care of in the draft pick. So that's my 2020 Seattle Seahawks off-season needs. You all know the drill, man. Like this, love this, share this, and I am out.